We're kicking off the 11th season of the Red Zone. And North Central is coming off a massive 70-14 win in Week 1 against Lake Forest College on the road. We have head coach Jeff Thorne on to talk about that. Also, quarterback Broc Rutter and outside linebacker DJ Warkenthien join me on the set. We'll have all that and more next on the Red Zone.
The presenting sponsor of the Red Zone is Athletico, the preferred provider of physical therapy and athletic training for North Central College.
Welcome into the Red Zone. The head coach of the football team, Jeff Thorne, joining me. Well, thank you for joining me for the 11th season of the Red Zone. And you guys got off to a fantastic start in your 2018 season. 70-14 your win at Lake Forest College. It's an impressive, every phase of the game, you guys completely dominated. What were your thoughts coming out of that game?
Well, first, thanks for having me, too.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I thought we played really well for our first game. Lake Forest was playing their second game, and you know, in the coaching world, you talk about your biggest improvement typically being between Week 1 and Week 2. So I was very, very pleased with how our guys played. Got off to a little bit of a slow start offensively in the first quarter, but once we got our feet underneath ourselves, we really did some nice things on offense, starting with our offensive line. Perfect segue.
It's almost like you knew it was coming. This unit, you returned 2 guys in Colton Bachneck and Sharmore Clark, but the rest of these guys, they might be veteran members, but this is their first time stepping up into the spotlight. They seem to perform very well.
Yeah, our left tackle, Jake Fiedler's a junior, and he's been on our 2 deep now for a couple years. So not totally shocked that Jake stepped in and did as well as he did. Ricky Sturba at center started 10 games for us as a freshman at right tackle, then had the knee injury as a sophomore, and you know, last year it took him a while to make it all the way back to being 100%, if he did at all. So he didn't get a ton of playing time last year, but now he's a junior, eligibility-wise, and is healthy, and the move to center has really been great for him. And then right guard, Nate Gray, played a lot of football for us last year as a freshman. Played some H-back at fullback, a bigger fullback, and he did get some time at right guard. So I'm really not surprised that those guys played as well as they did. We were expecting that.
Running backs always credit their offensive line. They had a lot to chalk it up to in this game. 398 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns in the game. Those are impressive totals, and you can't do that without the impressive running backs you have. Dom Mugalu leading the charge, but also some freshman backs.
Yeah, Dom, we knew Dom was going to be a really, really solid running back for us this year after what he did last year in his first year with us. He's expanded his role and his skill set just through hard work and making sure that he caught the ball a little bit better. Those were some of the things we challenged him with in the offseason, and leaned down a little bit. He looked fantastic, and the freshman backs were really, really excited about.
And your quarterback's returning for his junior season, and he's been pretty good the first 2 years.
Been okay.
An efficient day, too. 18 of 23 throwing, 190-something yards, 2 scores. You can't ask for a much better performance to kick off the season from Broc Rutter.
Well, if he'd have played in the first quarter, he'd have been perfect. You know, he missed some throws in the first quarter that are so atypical of what Broc normally does. Once he got through that first quarter and settled down a little bit, he was terrific, as he normally is. But I don't think there's a better quarterback at our level in the country. We're blessed, and we've got him for 2 more years, fortunately. We've got a great group of receivers. So it could be a really exciting year.
The offense looks exciting. It looks dynamic. The defense might even look more so because you have playmakers all across the field. Let's start on the defensive line. You replaced a very deep unit. Last year it seemed like you guys went 8, 9, 10 deep at times. But in this game it looked like you went almost as deep with guys that maybe we don't know quite yet. Is that unit as talented as it has been in years past?
It's deep with youth. So we've got some young guys in there. We got a really talented transfer at the last minute in Tommy Highland. And Lane Brinkman came back out, took a year off from football, and looked outstanding on Saturday, had a forced fumble and recovery on the same play, and just created havoc in the interior. And then you've got the freshman Isaiah Ziegler, who's 315 pounds and was 3rd in the state as a heavyweight wrestler last year. So he really has some things that are unique to him and his ability to use his hands, shed blocks, and get to the football. We're extremely excited about those guys. And then, you know, Josh Leonhardt back at defensive end, and add in Brighton Haverland and Taha and the group that we have out there. Danny Gilroy got playing time as a freshman out there as well. We're really excited about our defensive line.
And then the linebackers are right behind them. DJ will anchor that unit, but you've got some talent there too, and length, it seems like. A lot of 6'2", 6'3" guys that can cover a lot of lot of field in that second level.
Yeah, DJ, he grew over the summer, got to 6'2", so we're really excited about that. But yes, Ben Wong did a great job. Ben can really run. He's a sturdy guy. Brian Beauchamp is involved in that mix too. He got a lot of playing time in their heavy package, and Brian will see more playing time going forward. Our outside linebacker on Saturday was a kid named Alec Wolf, another freshman, 6'3", made a couple really nice plays. Still has some things to learn and improve upon, but that's typical of all freshmen.
And then last but not least, the secondary. So this was an area that had some shuffling going on in the offseason, and it looked fantastic in this game. You have a freshman starting on one side, some veteran members in that backfield as well. Take us through exactly what went into trying to shape that secondary.
Yeah, we wanted to get longer, and we also wanted to add speed back there. So moving Jake Beasley from receiver to corner has really helped in that way. He's 6'3", and he runs in the 4.4s and broad jumps 10-11. He dunks a basketball like he's an NBA superstar. So he's really unique athletically. Braden Lindmark came in, another 6'3" corner from Naperville Central High School. And at safety, we moved Zach Greenberg from corner to safety, and it's really a great fit for him. He's been terrific. And then between Matt Sutherland and Patty Cravens at the free safety spot, we feel pretty good about our secondary. Yeah. We're still a work in progress with Shane coming in and revamping the defense, doing a great job. So everybody really has things that they still need to get better and continue to learn the new system, but I'm extremely pleased with the accountability and the effort level and running to the football, things that we're doing a great job with.
I can't imagine a better feeling exiting week 1 than that. We're going to close the book on Lake Forest in just a second. Check the Tape is coming up next. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
This Red Zone segment is brought to you by Arena Americas, specialists in providing full-service rental solutions for events and special occasions of all sizes.
First edition of Check the Tape coming up right now, and we'll get 3 plays from this Lake Forest game. And this first one seemed to get you glowing was your offensive line, not just getting to their assignments, but doing a little extra as well. Yeah. Ricky Sturba doing a fantastic job at getting into the second level.
Yeah, Ricky's extremely athletic, 6'4", 285 pounds, and can run really, really well. So a couple schemes we've added to the offense this year, taking advantage of the athleticism of our offensive line. Ricky, and you see Colton Bachneck, the backside tackle, way downfield, finding work. That's exciting, as an offensive mind and head coach. When your offensive linemen are getting down the field to find blocks, that's a really positive sign.
What does that mean for your running backs to have a more complex blocking scheme? Does that give them more responsibilities to try and find crevices and holes to get to?
Yeah, it dresses up our offense a little bit more too, based on where we put the running back and how we move him. It's more for a defense to have to prepare for. Lining up one way doesn't tell them, okay, here we go, here's inside zone, here's outside zone. There's a little bit more to the menu that we're bringing to the table now.
More studying for other defensive coordinators to get ready for. Yep. Second play I want to get to, and this is a defensive play, and we see DJ speed off the edge, but how about the interior defensive line collapsing the offensive line for Lake Forest and kind of allowing for the edge rush? Yeah, Josh Leanhart takes an inside move there and absorbs the tackle, and our defensive tackles do a great job here of commanding double teams with their presence. And when you can do that, you typically are able to free up a linebacker, oftentimes even a defensive end. And right now, at least game 1, we got off to a really good start in our tackles doing that. You mentioned the second level, and actually you mentioned the freshman outside linebacker in the first segment as well, Alec Wolf. And this is a play that we've talked about defensive secondary and cornerbacks technique. This is a linebacker looking like a cornerback.
Yeah, that's a really athletic play, and that's Alex gifted that way. He's an excellent athlete. He's got length. He's got speed. And you see it on display there. That's great coverage and a great play on the ball, too, using the correct hand to bat the ball away and avoiding interfering with the receiver at the same time.
Now let's shift the focus to WashU, who comes into Benedetti Worley Stadium. You guys traveled to them last year. It's their turn to take the 5-hour trip up.
Right.
But this is a decent team, and last year you struggled in the first quarter against them. What are you expecting here in 2018 from this Bears unit?
They're more than a decent team. I think they're a very good football team. They're disciplined. They don't make mistakes. WashU's academic requirements are very high. So you're dealing with really intelligent kids. As a result of that, you're not going to see very many mental errors. But on top of that, they're very, very good athletes, too. Their quarterback and their punter is a Barrington High School kid who we really recruited hard out of high school. So I know that athletically, they're going to test us. They do a really good job on both the offensive and defensive lines and, playing with pad level and using their hands the right way. So our work is definitely cut out for us. We're going to have to be at the top of our game.
Yeah. Quick hit time. You get one of the quick hits as well. I didn't prep you for this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right, yeah.
If you're a grill master, what is your ultimate burger?
My ultimate burger would be a burger with a little bit of feta or blue cheese built inside of it.
Yeah.
And that's probably about it. I'm not a real fancy guy. If you could put a hard, or not a hard boiled, but a fried egg on top of it, now it just goes to another level.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Thorne special.
That would be it.
Thanks, Coach.
No
Good luck
problem.
against WashU.
Thanks.
Coming up next, we have a couple of players joining me on set. We'll be right back for the Red Zone. We kick off our season of top plays with a little trickery. Broc Rutter is known for his arm. How about Michael Spikas, the kickoff specialist turned star receiver, turned quarterback, and Drew Kaminsky with the toe tap catch on the other end of the telephone line. That's unbelievable. Let's get to the replay, and the whole play works to perfection, including that sideline snag. The play goes for 38 and helps the Cardinals top the Foresters 70-14. Welcome back, and a couple of vets on the couch. DJ Warkenthien, Broc Rutter. Thanks for joining me, guys. Great start to your season, 70-14. That was a fantastic win. A lot to catch up on, though, because both of your units have changed dramatically in some areas. Some holdovers, a lot of big-time starters coming back. DJ, we'll start with you. Defensive line, you guys had a really deep, veteran-laden group in front of you last year, but you got some young guys, but some pretty impressive guys in front of you.
Yeah, we lost Billy on the end side. Monte was a huge all-conference player at D-tackle. We sort of lost Matt Taylor, too. He was eligible for this year, but he got another job, graduated. Josh is back. But like Coach Jeff said earlier, we got this transfer. He was literally Sunday before camp, me and Broc got called into the office by Coach Jancic to talk to a transfer coming from a D2 school, and Tommy's been phenomenal. Isaiah stepped up as a freshman literally day 2 of camp and sort of grabbed the bull by the horns and is just running home with it. He's such a big body, he just eats double teams all day. And we moved Brighton to DN from tight end from last year, so he's doing pretty well out there. We got a lot of stuff we need to work out yet as a front seven, but it's looking pretty exciting going forward. It should be a pretty good season for us.
You've got some new offensive linemen. You got the holdovers on the right side of the line, but how about Ricky Sturb at center? 6'4". He's a big dude right in front of you. Does that kind of give you some comfort knowing you got a big guy in front of you?
Yeah, it's nice knowing Ricky in front of me. He's going to do his job every single time, every play, and not just him, all of them are going to do their job every time, and they all gel really well together, and they're coming together really nicely. We still got a lot of work to do, but they're coming together nicely so far.
I feel like the quarterback is one of the most appreciated person when it comes to an offensive line. Keeps you clean.
Definitely.
Which is nice. How did they do on Saturday?
They did a great job. You know, I think we had 1 sack, but that was on me. On a quarterback draw, I got tackled in the backfield. So they did a great job. I had plenty of time back there, and they all want to keep improving. They're not satisfied with their performance last week, even though they played really well. They want to keep getting better and keep taking it to the next level.
Let's talk about those linebackers, because Ben Wong steps into that middle linebacker role alongside you. So Sora's gone. He was a fantastic player. What can Ben Wong bring to the table to try and fill that role?
You know, Ben is a very aggressive football player. You know, last year he was Special Teams Player of the Week a couple of times. He just likes to hit people. And when you bring a guy like that to replace Tommy, it's such a hard shoe to fill, because Tommy was phenomenal. You know, he never did the wrong thing in any situation. But Ben's a very smart guy. He's a 4.0 student, so just him and Bo were sort of going back and forth all camp with who was going to play the mic, who was going to play the nickel. And then right coming game week 1, you know, we made the decision to put Ben out there, and it worked out pretty well the first game. You know, Ben's a very smart. He knows what he's doing on most plays. Got some stuff we need to work on in the pass game, but that's for everyone in the back seven. So, you know, it should be exciting. And then Wolf at the nickel, freshman, you know, coming in, he came around 7-on-7 all summer and did pretty well. So it's nice to have some new guys out there. I think it'll be a good year for us.
The secondary behind you is looking pretty good too. You bring in a wide receiver, so you lose a wide receiver, you gain a quarterback in Jake Beasley. This dude can jump, he can run. He's pretty much the full package at cornerback, isn't he? Yeah, I don't know if you saw the video on Twitter, but the last day, midway through camp, Beasley dunked the basketball and gave like a wind up and over the head. So he's a freak athlete. So having him on the boundary will be a really good thing for us, especially because at the Division III level, a lot of quarterbacks like to throw the boundary because they don't have as strong of an arm. But so bringing him over is good. Braden Lindmark's been really good at the field, and having Greenberg back there is a great help. You know, moving him from corner, he's a great leader in the back. Patty Cravens and Matt Southern, you know, they're both veterans who know what they're doing. So I think especially with Coach Durkin coming in, you know, he's going to get the secondary ready to go. They're going to be there every single time. So I think he knows what he's doing back there.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Those wide receivers, you're missing Beasley, but I mean, you bring in Cam Moore, you got Kaminsky, you got Figgis, you got some other guys that are looking really good at this point in the season. How fun is it to have so many weapons to try and spread the ball around to?
It's awesome. Yeah, you know they're going to be in the right spot every time, especially them coming back with experience and Cam Moore coming in and fitting right in with all of us. It's nice. We all gel really well together. We're all 4 of the best friends off the field, and we all have a common goal. We want to get better, and we know that when we're on the field, we're teammates, and we want to make each other better. And off the field, we're still best friends. So no matter what we say, we're still there, and we're trying to get better.
How about the running backs too? So Dom, kind of the bell cow back. He rushed for 125 yards and 3 scores. Then you got the freshman running backs that are all trying to make their case and maybe be behind Dom. And it seemed like you guys had a lot of fun in the rush game. Yeah, we got a ton of talent back there, and they all have the same mindset. They just want what's best for the team, and they want to do whatever's going to help the team win games, and they all bring their own unique talent to the field, and so we have trust in each and every one of them whenever they're out there. You guys ready for the quick hits?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You guys get to be grill masters for this first question. So you're on the grill, you're at a barbecue, you get to set the menu. Describe your ultimate burger. We'll start with Deej.
For me, I'm a big fried egg.
Nice. So, you and Coach can combine on that one.
Yeah, so if you get some fried egg and cheddar cheese and some bacon on there, and that'll keep me going. Keep it plain, though.
Nice.
None of that lettuce or any of that. So.
No green allowed.
No green.
Brock.
I'm not eating whatever he's making. I've seen him grill too many times.
Oh, get out of here, dude.
I'm probably going with burger with some cheese and bacon inside of it.
Oh, a stuffed burger.
Oh, yeah, lathered up with bacon on top, some barbecue sauce.
Nice.
I'll have some lettuce on there. I'll eat healthy for a little bit.
Gross.
There you go. Gross. All right, so some people hate leg days, some people hate running. What is your least favorite workout? We'll start with Brock for this one.
Ooh, it's got to be some days during the off season when we're out there. Coach Janicek will be doing squat or something. He'll come up to me. We got like 4 sets, and he'll say, "How many sets you done?" I'll be like 3. He goes, "All right, well you got 3 more." And I'm like, "That adds up to about 7." And he's like, "Nope, 3 more."
How about you?
Unlike Brock, I actually work out sometimes, but the one exercise that really gets me, you ask anyone on the team, the split squats. Coach Janicek's been running these split squats. We've been doing them forever, but It's one of those ones where you really got to get your mind ready for it.
Yeah.
Because it just takes a toll on your body.
What exactly is a split squat?
So it's just 1 foot's on the ground, 1 foot's on a bench, elevated off the ground, and you just got a barbell, and you're just pretty much doing a squat on one leg. Whew. It's it's very challenging.
I can't do squats on 2 legs. I can't imagine one. Holy smokes. Third question, the last one, we'll get you out of here on this. DJ, we'll start with you. If you could be a star player on a professional team, what position and what team?
Well, I'm a huge Bears fan growing up and playing a linebacker. I think being, a middle linebacker on the Bears has always been a dream for a lot of little kids, with the leagues of Dick Butkus or Brian Urlacher. Yeah. So that'd probably be my answer.
Brock?
That's pretty easy for me. I would have to go to Lambeau Field and be quarterback for the Packers. I'm a huge Packers fan.
Whoa.
I like to say I'm an owner. I got a couple shares back in the day. And anything to do with the Packers, I'm all in for it.
I know you guys are really good friends, but I sense a little bit of division on this particular subject here. Packers, Bears,
He's scared to watch the game with the roommates.
Yeah.
I don't know if he should be the one that's scared, considering his quarterback just completely.
Yeah. I just tell him we're 17-4 in the last Rodgers started game, so.
Well, how much can you do, man? It's not fair.
Guys, thanks so much for hopping on. We appreciate it. Hopefully we get a Bears win come the second meeting against the Packers.
Yeah, of course.
But hopefully a win, too, this week against WashU. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we have Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher hopping on. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
This Red Zone segment is sponsored by Belgio's Catering.
It's a lot of logistics. We function with Google Calendar to make sure all of our staff know exactly who's practicing and when between men and the women.
And so it goes for a coach with double duties of steering a men's and women's program. Kyle Exline is at the helm of both North Central volleyball teams and is one of 4 coaches currently managing a pair of rosters.
To begin, it was kind of trial and error. Try some things, see if it worked, but the awesome thing is we can expedite our process within the seasons. So if something didn't work in the women's season, we can try it in the men's season.
The benefit of coaching a men's and women's team? It's synergy. Tennis coach Ryan Jump experienced that last year when he assumed responsibilities for both teams and inherited a veteran men's roster and a very green women's roster.
All those juniors and seniors that we had last year were definitely helpful to, getting the women on campus, getting them acclimated, helping make friends, all that stuff.
So men and the women have done a phenomenal job of buying in. They're great brothers and sisters off the court. So they trust the system, they trust the process.
But while having one philosophy for 2 teams is a positive, the drawback is scheduling. Recruiting is a year-round job, and for these coaches, so are the competitions.
One thing that I was, taught, coming into this industry was that my job is 10% tennis. Everything else is, all over the board.
Steve Sellers and Mark Schmidt are the other 2 coaches responsible for 2 programs, with golf and swimming respectively. And soon, a 5th will join the ranks. Wrestling coach Joe Norton with the addition of women's wrestling. Jump and X-Line's advice?
I mean, it works itself out, but finding that balance and having, flexible kids on the team that, can really buy into what we're trying to do, that's huge.
Make sure you got the right coaching staff, because you're not going to be able to be at everything. And, a lot of the recruits and a lot of the players want to talk to the head coach. They want to speak with them, but you have to make sure that you can delegate out and make sure that the recruits and your current student athletes know that you trust this person just as much as yourself.
This has been the Cardinal Corner. I'm Kevin Jackman. Time for our final segment, and as always, Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher joins me. Welcome back. 11th season, and you guys are off to a busy start, too. A lot of sports are getting underway. The school year is beginning. Catching your breath a little bit to start the year?
Well, yeah, because when school starts, that's when I get my student workers back.
Oh.
So there's, a little less on the plate now that I have a few more people to spread it around to. So we were pretty glad to see them come back.
I'm sure you were. Let's start with women's soccer, because they're off to a great start. They dropped that opening game as a 6-1 score, but that seems like an aberration because they've won 4 straight. The defense has clamped down. Andrew Gamara has that team playing pretty well.
Yeah, I think we've seen that first game was an outlier, and defensively that team had looked very solid. They had 3 shutouts in a row, which hadn't happened for a few years. And really seemed for a team with as many new parts to it, playing pretty well early in the season.
For a young team, and I feel like we've said young team for a couple of years, but they are really young. They don't have any seniors on this team. Do you get a sense that maybe with this 4-1 start, they're thinking maybe conference could be an obtainable goal?
Well, that's the goal. I think the first goal is to get back into the conference tournament. They were in 2 years ago. They didn't make it last year. So the first goal is to qualify for that, and then you start thinking about bigger things. So I think they're being cautious not to get too far ahead of themselves. It's a matter of being ready and playing at your best when conference play starts in a couple of weeks.
Same thing for the men's team. They've faced some really good competition. I think the highlight of that, they lost, but they played St. Thomas extremely tight. And you even mentioned they led in this game against the 6th ranked team in the country. It's a good barometer for this team. Yeah,
to be 3 games into the season and have the only issue be, closing out, one of the nation's best programs, you're sitting in a pretty good place. Yeah, they're 1-2, but for the schedule that they played and it's all the challenges that they put in front of themselves to begin with. I think they've set the stage for some really interesting, performance later in the season. The conference, and on the men's side, it particularly is very rugged in men's soccer, and it's really a tough. Getting into that conference tournament is a tall order, yeah. But I think they feel like they've got enough pieces in place to make that happen. Particularly in their. On the offensive end, they're a little more diverse in their attack than they've been in the past.
Let's shift gears. Let's go to a defending national champion in triathlon. They hosted the event for a 3rd consecutive year, and they dominated. They looked really good.
Yeah, they made a change this year. That event was strictly a Division III event this year, in the interest of making sure that Division III teams have a chance to really come in and compete to the fullest extent of their abilities. When you bring in Division I teams like that, due to the rules, if you get lapped and you have to come off the course, we didn't really feel like that was something that we wanted to put in front of some of these teams. They're just getting started. There were 2 teams in that meet that were doing this for the first time ever. So you want people to have a good experience coming into it and grow from there. Performance-wise, definitely what we expected from that group. We have the bulk of the team that competed at nationals is back. We have one young lady, Amy Feltz, who was on campus last year up at the swimming team, is on triathlon for the first time, and she's going to be in that mix at nationals. Grace Miller, defending national champion, coming off a knee surgery in the off season. She's healthy now. She's just working her way back into being in competition shape. So I think she was our 4th finisher on that event on Labor Day. So they're definitely in a very good place to begin the process of qualifying for nationals, which is going to start in a couple of weeks.
Let's go to men's and women's cross country. So we'll keep the running element of the triathlon. And both of these teams got off to great week 1 starts at Elmhurst, a couple of first place finishes.
Yeah, the men's team had 19 of the top 20 finishers in a meet where we typically split between the varsity and the freshman teams, but we have 2 team entries in that, and the freshmen finished 2nd in the field, which I don't think they've done before. So certainly an encouraging sign there for a lot of young guys who have only been on campus for a couple of weeks training with the team. The guys who are going to be in the mix for the national championship, they're going to go on Friday to Illinois State, compete in a meet that is otherwise completely Division I, in a meet that they typically do pretty well at down in Bloomington, while the rest of the team will go to the course that's going to host the conference championship this week. So they're going to get some reps there.
And then the women's team also came up with that first place finish. Maddie Skopp looks like she might be leading that charge as well.
Yeah, she was the leading runner for the bulk of last season. They've added some pieces to that team. They're looking at making a run at a return to the top of the conference this year. Certainly seem equipped to do so. There were a couple of conference teams in the field there. So there's going to be, it's going to take some time to figure out exactly what that top 7 is going to look like, but I think Madeline's definitely going to be at the top, pushing, at the front of most of the races this year.
Well, Clark, thanks for hopping on. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
That's it for the first episode of The Red Zone. We'll have the live game on Saturday against Wash U. The kickoff at 1, the pregame begins at 12:45. I'm Kevin Jackman. We'll see you next week on The Red Zone.